Welcome back everybody. This is Action Fighter, a game I have a love-hate relationship. I love it because it's a really fun game, but it also can be very punishing, as I'm no doubt you'll see during my gameplay. It combines an action driving game with a shoot 'em up. We will start out here in the motorbike, which to me looks a bit like the motorbike from Super Hang-On, but from above. Sega did make an arcade game called Action Fighter. I assume this is based on it, because that one has flying and driving in it too. But that's only familiarity. This one's got spaceships, that one's got helicopters. It's crazy. So I think they're based on the same, this is based on the arcade game, but they've altered it a great deal. If you drive in the back of one of these Sega trucks, you can upgrade your weapon, but you got to be careful not to crash into the truck. You're trying to just drive into the back of it, like so. I should get some rockets now. As you go through the level, you'll pick up letters, and collecting these letters will transform your cars. As you see, I went from a bike that was transformed into what looks like a Porsche, and eventually the Porsche will get wings and be able to fly off, and the game will turn into a shoot 'em up. Ah, that's unusual. I don't normally do well enough to get invincibility. Here we go. Now the game's turning into a shoot 'em up. I think I struggle with this game more so because I don't play a great deal of shoot 'em ups, but I do really enjoy this game, even though, like I say, it can punish me. You can take enemies out in the air. You can also drop bombs on buildings and tanks on the ground and civilian vehicles, which is quite amusing. It seems to me this is one of those games which you have to give all your attention to. If you focus, if you're distracted for a split second, you're dead. You don't start losing your lives if you're shot down until your timer runs out, and if the time runs out, then it goes on how many lives you've collected during the level. I think the lives that you get are from a score based. I often try and take the tanks out as well, but it's not always easy. Oh dear. Always be aware where the helicopters are firing at you from, because sometimes the shots will go behind a cloud and you can't see it and you'll get hit. So if you're best off just knowing the general direction it's coming from and just keeping out the way of it. I find the regular shot are better for taking out these Galaxian style UFOs coming down the screen, but when it comes to taking down helicopters, you're best using the rocket. Unfortunately, you can't switch between two weapons. Once you've got the rocket, you've got the rocket. That is, until you're killed, then you revert back to your guns again. Ah, the time has run out, and now you see I've got 2 lives. Let's hope I can get to the boss. The final fight in this stage, I have to take out 3 battleships. I'm not sure how many missions are in this game because I've never got through them all, but the first one's hard enough. Alright, we're getting extremely close to the end level battle, so I'll be quiet and focus. Okay, I don't want to make silly mistakes like that. Let's try again. We've got to do it this time if we want to see the next stage. Yes, fantastic. The next stage pretty much just carries on from where we left off. It looks like this time I've got to take out 6 very armed tanks, but I'll be lucky if I reach them. As always, we are using the original hardware here. Well, not strictly, we're using a Sega Mega Drive with the power base converter, which is using a chip in the Mega Drive, which is the same hardware as the Master System, I believe. And I'm playing with a Mega Drive controller. I thought it's best to keep the Mega Drive out. I mean, I could pull the Master System power base out, but then I'd be constantly switching from Sega Master System to Mega Drive, so it's better just to have one system out all the time rather than having to keep disconnecting one and reconnecting another. Oh, fortunately I'm not losing any lives because we've still got plenty of time. I suppose the screen would be a lot clearer if I captured emulation of the Master System instead of the original hardware. But anyone can download an emulator without putting any effort into finding the original game, so I just think it's nice to see it being played on the original hardware. And I love playing my retro games on the CRT TV as they are meant to be played. I can't fathom why some people are happy just to play these retro games on a LCD screen, because it makes these old classic games look terrible because they were never designed to be played on an LCD screen. I like things to be as they should be. We should eventually get to land where we can land again and carry on as the Porsche. The land and air thing is a good idea because it keeps the game interesting. I believe this game was released in all regions that the Master System got a release in. Obviously the Mark III in Japan, America and Europe. I think we all got Action Fighter. I'm surprised to see how many systems this game was released on. I was watching a YouTube video and they had it for the Spectrum ZX, the Amstrad, the Commodore 64. Yeah, and I didn't realise that. I thought it was only on the Sega Master System. Back when I was a child, I didn't even know that it was in the arcade because I'd never seen it in the arcade. Well, not. The only reason I know about it being it was originally in the arcade now is because of YouTube. I don't normally last very long in this game, so I'm quite happy with how well I'm doing at the moment. I do believe soon though that we'll end up landing and be back in the Porsche again. In this version of the Action Fighter, we pick up these little red icons with a P on, with the letter P on it, and that's how you collect your power-ups while you're flying. But when I was watching the arcade and the versions of Action Fighter on other formats, it seemed like there was a flying helicopter which you could actually dock into, and that's how you upgraded your weapon. I think I prefer it this way. Ah, great. Time to land and get back into some vehicle combat. If you remember the start of the game, you start off as a motorbike. The motorbike's one of the trickier vehicles to ride because you can be bumped off the road by both bikes and cars. But once you become the Porsche, you can bump the bikes off with no problem. The only vehicles that can cause you to have an accident now are the cars, obviously, and the ambulances. There doesn't seem to be much difference in this driving section than there was in the original driving section at the start of the game. But I do think, I think the black cars might be new. Ah, the Sega power-up truck. Oh, I think he's trolling us. Try and get in the back of it. Come on. Yep, he's trolling. You have to be careful on the Master System version of this game because the helicopters don't drop goodies. No, they drop mines which can obviously aren't very healthy for your vehicle. Okay, that was new. I wasn't expecting that little island in the middle of the road. Ah, the power-up Sega truck. Give me those missiles. Come on. Ah. Oh, I think that was my last life as well. Yup. But I got a really good score then. I'm quite happy with how far I got. Because sometimes when you crash in this game, it feels a bit cheap. But I think I've improved at this game a little. I'm sure this is a game that anyone that owned a Sega Master System will remember, or at least seen on the advertisement post that used to come with the Sega Master System games. Anyway guys, I hope you enjoyed this Sega Master System port of Action Fighter, and I'll see you again soon.